Hello everyone, and welcome to the world's most boring video. This is going to be a demonstration for you of all the different transitions in PowerPoint. So it'll be the same image with just different transitions applied to each slide. So this is a cut transition, and notice it just changes to the picture directly. That was a fade transition. You'll see that here as it applies to the photo. This is a push. So you can push from the bottom. When you select these in PowerPoint, you'll have the option of changing different options. So in the push, for example, you can come in from the top or the bottom, as we just saw there, the left or the right. So you'll have to explore the options on your own. Otherwise, this would be like an hour-long, really boring PowerPoint video. So there's a wipe. This is going from right to left. And again, you can change the options on that particular one as well. There's a split coming from the middle, and you can go from the middle to the outside or the outside to the middle. Okay, that's a fade, and that's what I would call a true fade or a dissolve. And you notice there's a little bit of a movement too to the slide where it gets bigger and then goes to its normal size. Random bars, kind of a nice one. That's a shape, and again, the options here are to change the shape to a variety of different ones. That one obviously being a circle. There's uncover. Sort of like you're sliding a display board over to the side. Here's cover, which to me looks very much the same. It's less of a fade though, just more of an actual slide. Flash, you see a little bit of white there. That's a little bit more apparent when the image comes into view. Microsoft calls this a dissolve. That doesn't look anything like a dissolve to me. It looks like really small checkerboards. So it's really odd. There's the really large checkerboard, which they, not surprisingly, call checkerboard. There's blinds, and again, you can choose the direction and the orientation of the blinds. That's vertical blinds coming from the middle, and I know there's different options on that one you can choose from. That was a clock. See it kind of sweeping around in a clockwise direction like the hands of a clock. Ripple, kind of like water. That's called a honeycomb, not surprisingly, because there's lots of big honeycombs. This one takes quite a while to move through. That must be a default setting. Generally speaking, with transitions, you don't want them to be that long. It ties up your presentation and adds precious seconds, and doesn't really, generally speaking, contribute anything meaningful except the delay, which usually your viewers are not going to want to see. There's small honeycombs, which they call glitter. Doesn't look like glitter to me, but I don't work for Microsoft. Really small checkers called vortex. Kind of like that one personally, but again, that's a way too long of a transition for most PowerPoint presentations. I call that shred. I think it's a pretty appropriate title. See it looking like shredded paper. Switch. Again, it's like you're doing an actual presentation with boards and you switch out the boards. Or shuffle cards would be another maybe analogy for that. Flip, again, like if you were doing a real presentation with actual boards, you just flip the board around and there's the new picture. There's gallery, like you're sliding, kind of viewing different pictures in a photo gallery, I guess. Cube, and there's different variations of this. I'm going to go backwards so you can see that again. So if you imagine a cube, we're on the outside of the cube. There's another one coming up where we'll be on the inside of the cube. It's kind of an interesting. Doors is fun. Doors very, and as you might suspect, they have something called windows, which to me looks identical to the doors. So there's a door transition. See, here's the box. It's basically like we're on the inside of the box now instead of the outside of the cube. All right, moving around on an internal view, basically a box or a cube. Zoom, where you move through what you're looking at to the next image. Kind of a fun one. That's not really a pan in movie terms, but that's what Microsoft calls it. Pushing from the bottom, and again, you can change the direction and speed of these. That's a Ferris wheel, and that does look kind of like the motion on a Ferris wheel where you have one car changing to another one. There's a conveyor, which kind of looks like the art museum one. Rotate, and again, this is like the outside of the box. So it looks very much like it. I guess the background's different. I'm not really sure why. See, window looks just like door to me. It's pretty funny. Okay. Orbit, again, looking like the box one where you're inside. Doesn't look very much different than that, in my opinion. Fly through, looking like what I would call a